I'm Sally Denton. I'm the author of The Pink Lady, The Many Lives of Helen Gahagan Douglas. I was always fascinated by Helen Gahagan Douglas as a political character, a political figure. So this is really about her, the rise of an American female politician. She had a very interesting background, but she was raised in Park Slope, New York, in Brooklyn, and attended school here, started at Barnard and left prematurely because she was a sudden sensation on Broadway. In fact, by 1929 she was the highest paid Broadway actress in the middle of the Depression. She met Melvyn Douglas, who would become her husband. The two of them moved to California, where Melvyn would go on to become quite a star. She played in one film, but didn't like the medium, didn't like the venue, and abandoned Hollywood filmmaking pretty quickly and became involved in state politics through John Steinbeck and the migrant workers. And in that work, she met Franklin and Eleanor Roosevelt, the President and First Lady, and really introduced them to the migrant worker problem. She went to the Democratic National Convention in 1944 and spoke and also sang, and there was a groundswell at that moment for her to become a vice presidential contender. I think that buoyed her to such an extent that she decided then to enter elective politics, and she ran for Congress and won in 1944. As a congresswoman, she was very progressive from the beginning. She was interested in labor and health and human services. She got appointed to a pretty powerful committee, the Foreign Affairs Committee, very powerful committee, but unusual that somebody of only 2, 4, 6 years in Congress, and a woman at that, was able to get onto that committee. And there is where she really began to formulate her anti-nuclear proliferation policies. Not only was she the first woman to run for the Senate from California, but she was always on the side of progressivism. I think that she also underestimated the depth and breadth and emotion about her being a woman, the audacity of a woman running for the United States Senate. There had been one other senator, Margaret Chase Smith, but basically it was a men's club, and I don't think that she ever really had a chance. She seemed pretty taken aback and nonplussed by the outright sexist attacks. Nixon said that she was pink right down to her underwear, and there was not even an outcry about that, either for the sexism or the smear. I spent a lot of time looking at the era from 1950 forward. She didn't disappear from public life. She gave up elective politics completely and never wanted anything more to do with that. She became a very avid anti-war, anti-Vietnam War activist, but her life's passion was really nuclear non-proliferation, and she went around the world giving speeches about that. That was her main concern always.